Hello, everybody. Welcome to It Was Tuesday with your host, James Chen, aka Jay Chenzor. Hope you are all having a fine summer day here. We are going to talk. Look, I don't mean this podcast to have become Street Fighter 6 the podcast, but obviously it's very difficult not to keep talking about this game and all the things that's going on with it. And so, obviously, the latest news, we just had CEO this past weekend, and so we had our first major tournament. Again, spoilers, Mena RD ended up taking that tournament, so Mena RD continuing his streak of just ridiculous play, cementing himself as probably the best in North America right now. But also, after CEO finished, or was it during CEO? Actually, let me see if I can find this over here. The TheHadou. No, that's not what I want. I wanted TheHadou. TheHadou, in case you guys don't know, the TheHadou is Rick Thiher, aka the guy who runs Combo Breaker and now currently runs Evo. And during CEO, let's see, this was on June 20th. So this was Monday. So he tweeted this on Monday, the Monday morning after CEO. Let me show you guys what he tweeted over here. That's it. That's all he tweeted. New record. New record, he says. Now, obviously, could be potentially vague. What does he mean, new record? Well, this came right after the tweet of, let's see, decided to check in on Evo 2023 registration while watching CEO's top 8s this morning. Multiple franchises will break their all-time Evo registration records or grow from 2022 numbers today. Unreal. So again, you only have 2 weeks left to register for this, as he says here. Tournament reg closes in less than 2 weeks for Evo. But of course, new record broken. Let's talk about this for a little bit here, okay? Let's talk about this because, you know, Street Fighter 6 breaking the Evo attendance record is more than what you would think. Like, a lot of people are like, well, the game is big, clearly, you know, it'll break the numbers, but let's talk about exactly what this means, what this number means, the fact that it broke the record. The previous record for Evo entrants was Street Fighter 5 with just over 5,000 entrants, with just over 5,000 entrants. We'll talk about that, King9999, where you say it means 8 a.m. pools. But we'll talk about that because most likely not, especially with the way that Rick has been trying to run Evo these past few years. But let's talk about this because I think we need some context here on these numbers being broken by Street Fighter 6. So if you guys remember, the original record was held by Street Fighter 5. If I'm not mistaken, let me use the old Googles over here. Street Fighter 5 release date was on February 16th, 2016. Registration for Evo opened in January of 2016. This was right on the heels of Ultra Street Fighter 4. And Ultra Street Fighter 4, if you guys don't know, like at that time, despite, you know, the Elena and all that stuff like that, Ultra Street Fighter 4 was really, really popular. And Street Fighter as an esport was kind of on a high. And it was on a rise. And people, oh shoot, shout outs to Wooly. Wooly with the raid. Let's go, baby. What's going on, sir? How you doing? But we had a situation where basically everybody was hyped for Street Fighter 5. I've often told the story about how myself and Joe were like, man, this could be the big one. Here comes Street Fighter 5, because that was kind of the momentum we were feeling after Street Fighter 4, right? After Ultra Street Fighter 4. Evo registration opened up in January. The game wasn't out yet, and everybody registered for Evo to play Street Fighter 5. And it got over 5,000 entrants at Evo. Keep in mind that this was a bunch of people who signed up for Evo kind of based on the hype of Street Fighter 5. Based on the hype. And yeah, a lot of people were burned out from Street Fighter 4, like Man of Peerless Might says over here. And then the game came out. And then the game came out. And then the game came out. And I can tell you right now that in 2016, there were a lot of DQs in Street Fighter 5. A lot of people didn't end up even playing their matches, and you know, we could all talk about the fact that Street Fighter 5 clearly was a game that did not live up to the hype, especially on launch, right? You know, we all say that Street Fighter 5 eventually got there, but eventually, eventually is the key word, right? I liked Street Fighter 5. I was glad to have a new game. Always has a new game. I mean, every Evo, yeah, does have a lot of DQs, but not to this level, right? The two highest level of DQs for Evo were for Street Fighter 5 and KOF 13. Right? Because KOF 13, if you entered Evo for KOF 13, you got a free My shirt. A lot of people entered for the My shirt. Oh, man. So, yeah, Street Fighter 5 had a lot of DQs. So even though it broke the record for, entrance, I wouldn't say that there was actually 5,000 people in that actual tournament, right? There definitely wasn't that many. In fact, I would probably say maybe half of that was there. Maybe half of the people actually played in the tournament. And so now that record has been holding steady for a very long time. I think the next highest, what is it? Let me see if I can find what the next highest is. Evo entrant records. I don't know if anybody has. Jesus Christ. Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? What the hell was that? Jesus. I guess I do live in Metro City. Holy crap. There was some explosion or something outside there. That was that was loud, dude. That wasn't even like remotely like a tire popping or something, dude. That was, I don't even know if that was a gunshot. Like, that felt way too loud to be a gunshot. That literally felt like something exploded, dude. Like, that felt like something exploded. In any case, as I was saying, before I was so rudely interrupted by explosion, I believe Street Fighter 5 had the record at 5,000 plus entrants. I think the second highest might have been Strive last year with over 2,000 entrants. I want to say, no, that's not true, because Smash Ultimate got 3,492 entrants in EVO 2019. Smash Ultimate is probably the second highest total ever. I guess I'm allergic to explosions or something. Whew. Shoot. Oh boy. But yeah, so Smash Ultimate probably the second highest at 3,492 entrants. But Street Fighter 6 now, with the TheHadou reporting that this record is broken, over 5,000 people have entered. Now, clearly we could have been in the same kind of situation, right? So when did Evo registration go up? Evo 2023 registration start date. Let's see. When did the registration start? Does anybody remember when Evo registration started? I can't even remember at this point in time. But again, what I'm trying to get at here is that I think a lot of people. Oh, that's a good point. I can check Evo Twitter. Good call. A lot of people remember that Street Fighter 5 thing. What the hell? How did I go to this Twitter? That's not where I'm trying to go. Let's see here. Late February. So the cool thing about it is, the fuck is happening here? Jesus Christ. All right, I am going to just continue forward here, and let's see. Okay, when did Evo registration start? Sorry, guys, I am super, dude. It's not in my home. That's the thing, is I can tell it's outside pretty far away. It's not happening in my home. I just have no idea what the heck is going on over here. Like, it literally sounds like something is exploding right now near where I live. And so this is absolutely terrifying. I'm going to have to go check in just a little bit. Jesus, dude, they posted a lot during Evo Japan. Holy crap. Let's see. Oh, here we go. The complete Evo 2023 lineup. This was February 21st. So registration went live on February 21st, right? So, again, that's not a gunshot, Shogundo. So there's no danger of bullets. I would be more scared of shrapnel and debris right now. Anything more than anything, because that definitely sounds like something is exploding. I mean, I hope it's not movie. I mean, if it was movie filming, I feel like somebody would let us know. I mean, from your guys' point of view, I'm not sure how it sounds, but for me, that was definitely explosions. Yeah, actually, it could be fireworks testing. You're right. I forgot 4th of July is right around the corner. That's almost certainly what it is, some sort of fireworks testing, and maybe somebody had a mishap or something, which is kind of terrifying. Anyway, sorry, I keep getting off track because of this freaking explosion over here. We had the betas, and I know a lot of people were probably like a little bit cognizant of what happened before with Street Fighter 5. Everyone registered early, and in fact, I would love to talk to the Hadou and see how the registration numbers for Street Fighter 6 built up. Like, when did it get to that point, etc., etc. But the thing about it is the fact that we had that happen to break the record, or to set the record a long time ago with over 5,000 entrants, and then having Street Fighter 5 come out and really just kind of, come out to very little fanfare and to a lot of complaints and frustrations. The fact that Street Fighter 6 has achieved these numbers, and after the game has come out, I mean, by the judgment of what Rick was saying over here, that it seems like the numbers are just continually going up and continuing to grow after the game has released is huge. That is a huge thing, a huge, what do you want to call it, indication of how well received this game is. You know, obviously I've been talking about it a lot on this stream here, asking you guys your thoughts and everything like that. A lot of people have been extremely happy. And that's the thing, is I don't think they're going to cap it, King 9999. That's not Evo, right? Evo doesn't cap the tournaments. I really don't think that they'll ever cap it. I think they're just gonna let it rock at this point in time, which is terrifying to think about. But we'll talk about the logistics of this in just a little bit. But the fact that this game is breaking the record after it's released, and by the sounds of what Rick has said, it sounds like that the numbers are continuing to rise and probably will continue to rise. And we don't even know how far the record has been broken. It sounds like Rick hasn't really checked the numbers in a little bit, right? And he just came and checked. It could be 6,000, 7,000. There's been a lot of people with like pools and betting pools to see what the over and under was going to be. Like, is it going to reach 8,000? Is it going to reach 9,000? But I mean, to put these numbers in perspective, to have it break the record in 2023 with this game that has been out and having everybody so excited for the game and entering it, and especially, you know, after this pandemic and after everybody has gotten, I mean, we're spoiled by good netcode, right? Let me talk to you about this part about it too, because like games like 1 year Evo ran Dead or Alive on the Xbox 360 because it was like the highest selling game when the 360 first came out. Not the highest selling game, but one of the most online played games, right? It was really popular on the Xbox 360. So Evo put Dead or Alive into their lineup. Nobody showed up for it. Dude, nobody showed up to play, because when you're used to playing online, you don't go to events. Like, you're just not, if you're not, you didn't come from that arcade era. It wasn't just one of those things that you just did naturally. You just didn't go to events. The reason why Melee and, Melee has been so strong is because those players had to travel to play, right? There was no Slippy back then. There wasn't even bad netcode on the game. So those players were used to traveling. And so we have a situation here where this game, which has mostly been being played online with a bunch of new people who, this might be one of their first fighting games ever that they're taking seriously. Dude, to break the numbers in this era of great online play and, hey, I can watch the stream at home and stuff like that, this is massive. This is massive. But yeah, not so we talked about that. A lot of games are breaking the record. And you know what? Look, I don't want to discredit the other games, but I'm just going to say this again because I've been living by this creed forever, which is a rising tide lifts all boats, right? So not only do we have a lot of people probably wanting to go to Evo to try Mortal Kombat 1, for example, but the Street Fighter 6 entrance is a big draw, right? So a lot of people going there to play, and they're going to enter all the other games if they enjoyed playing those games. You know, even if you, let's say we had 7,500 entrants at Evo, right? If even a tenth of those players were like, yeah, I'll enter Strive while I'm here, that's 750 entrants added to Strive, where Strive's record was 2,000 plus entrants, right? Their record was, was significantly above, twice that. But still, like, if even a tenth of the players who are signed up for Street Fighter 6, assuming they get to 7,500 entrants, played another game, they're adding 750 people to that tournament, right? Even if it was a 1/20th of the players, you're adding 375 people to that tournament. So it's crazy. And yeah, Marvel 3 being there is probably a another reason as well. But I think it is what needs to be embraced, and Evo is a showcase of skill and maybe invitationals by ranks. No. Evo should never, ever, ever, ever go to an invitational route. Only if we have like a cool little side thing, but Evo should never, ever, ever, ever be an invitational or favor invitationals. Evo is always going to be every man can enter, and that is what it is. That is the fighting game community. The fighting game community is bred off the backs of going to arcades, putting up quarters, and you get to play. You get to play. Like, that's how it is. And you get your shot at Evo. GamerBee came out from Taiwan. Nobody knew who GamerBee was. And in the second year of Street Fighter 4, dominated, beat Justin Wong, a grand finalist, second place from the previous year, with Adon, a character that nobody really even knew. He made a name for himself at that event, and GamerBee from that point on was always considered a fan favorite. Evo is always going to be this way. Like, we should never, ever... Evo should never focus on an invitational. It should, I mean, if it does anything, it'll be like what we did in Street Fighter 4 the first year, where we had the regions, right? We had the East Coast versus the West Coast versus the whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it should never, never, ever have any sort of focus on that. It should never be one of the main events. Let's just put it that way. So Evo is always going to be about the L.I. Joes. It's always going to be that kind of a story in a way. So, yeah, in Evo 2010, Infiltration wasn't really known either. You know, he got third place at that Evo as well. So, does GamerBee do something with Project L? I don't remember hearing anything about that. So that's news to me. If that's the case, I don't remember hearing anything about that. I know he had a chance to try it, but I don't think he's actually working on the game or anything like that. So, but again, the main point here is that the fact that we have this many people in Street Fighter 6, this many people entered into the event, and this many people, and it's breaking records in this day and age, I think is amazing. It's unprecedented. It's unheard. Like, to say that, you know, oh, cool, Evo broke records, Street Fighter 6, yay, is not really enough, right? Our hope was that Street Fighter 6 was going to kind of try to help usher in a new era of fighting games, along with that momentum leading right into Mortal Kombat, leading right into Tekken 8. You know, having this momentum, this kind of like huge, giant, like explosion of fighting games. And, you know, to have Evo be breaking numbers even in games that aren't Street Fighter 6 is a really big tell. And it does feel like we're growing somewhere, because, again, the Smash scene obviously is ginormous, right? So Smash having the second highest at 3,500 entrants is awesome, and it's the largest Smash tournament ever, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been broken since 2019. I'm not 100% sure, but, you know, if you don't put Smash in that running, because, like I said, Smash is its kind of its own thing, right? The next highest might be that Guilty Gear Strive at over 2,000. So we have a 5,000 to a 2,000 drop off. And so just to have over maybe 6,000 people at Street Fighter is crazy, dude. Crazy. Oh, man. In any case, yeah, I just, to me, well, yeah, that's right. I wanted to go, sorry, I'm reading the chat at the same time. So, I'm reading the chat at the same time. Let's talk about the logistics of this, right? A lot of people are saying maybe 8 a.m. pools and all this stuff like that. Look, I said it before when we were talking about the 3 out of 5 or the 2 out of 3 thing. No tournament organizer worth their weight is going to see registration numbers like this and just be like, well, what do we do? Let's start pools at 8. Like, I mean, that's definitely an option. That's definitely an option, and starting pools at 8 might happen again. But the thing about it is, you know, if you try to maintain a certain time, it's really just about money, right? It's always just going to be about money. Running a tournament of, let's pretend, okay? I'm not even going to I don't think it's reaching this number, but let's just pretend it got to 10,000 people entered, right? The answer really is more space, more setups, more judges, right? That's really what it comes down to. You get more space, you get more setups, you get more people to run those situations. Because again, no matter how many people are entering, you know, you can run pools simultaneously. So it's just about having enough setups. This is going to I mean, not even a question. This is going to be the largest endeavor, and I wonder if Gaming Generations even has enough machines to facilitate this kind of things. But yeah, once we even get to the semis are going to be like one of the biggest tournaments in fighting game history. Oh man. But it's just going to be about having the number of setups. So if the TO, if Rick and everybody else who helps run this event are dedicated to making sure there are no 8 a.m. pools, there's just going to be more setups. There's just going to be more machines, and they're going to have to rent out more space. They're going to have to allocate more space for more machines. And this is something that I'm sure they've thought of, because they definitely didn't come into this registration thinking, Street Fighter 6 might get 3,000. Like, you definitely go into this thinking Street Fighter 6 could break the record. And so you're already taking into account, and you're just waiting to see if you need to execute that plan or not. And so, yeah, I think that, the plan definitely needs to be executed now. And they definitely need to get more space. So again, you know, if the TOs know what they're doing, the attendance should not experience anything of like extra time or having earlier pools, etc., etc. It would just be a situation where there's just when you increase the numbers like that, it does get difficult because you do need more judges. There's more potential for mistakes here and there, or machine, like, God, I don't even want to know what the power drain is on something like that, dude. I don't even want to know what the power drain is. Like, I'd be sitting there terrified the entire time of like I'd be staring at the breakers like, oh my God. Obviously it's a convention center, so it's not gonna have like breakers like at home, but that's just like my imagination. Like, Evo staff is gonna be at the lot. I mean, we're in Las Vegas. Look how much energy all these casinos use, and even then I'd be terrified of Evo and the power drain. Yeah, and that's true too. Since the event is sponsored by Sony, there's a good chance that there's not going to be, I mean, it's owned by Sony, not even sponsored by Sony, that they probably won't have a problem running out of PS5s. It's a good point. I didn't even think about that, but that's definitely true. Sony will probably just be like, here you go. In any case, the numbers are definitely more significant than we think. It's not just that the numbers are breaking the records here. I feel like that this could be a potential huge turning point for all of us here in the fighting game community. And again, this is not just, hey, yay, Street Fighter 6, all hail our new overlord Street Fighter 6. Like, this is momentum that can be held through with, really, really significant titles like Mortal Kombat 1 and Tekken 8 coming out very soon as well. And so if we can just get to this point where Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat 1, and Tekken 8, and Strive potentially as well are just just really being like the four pillars holding up the FGC, to help everything else succeed as well, dude, how great would this be? Honestly, I didn't touch the MK1 stress tests, Shay, and I didn't see a lot of people messing with it. I know, the few things I watched, I'm curious about how some systems work. I know that someone found an infinite with katana. But I don't have a lot of information, to be honest with you, with the Mortal Kombat 1 stuff. I didn't watch a lot of the streams. I didn't watch a lot of the content video out there. But yeah, it's going to be quite a year at EVO. It's going to be quite a year. And to whittle that many players down to a single victor is going to be crazy. And again, CEO, a CEO had over 1,000 entrants for Street Fighter 6. And while it's just like, oh, wow, that's cute, 1,000. No, that's a big deal. CEO's 1,000+ entrants for Street Fighter 6 is a record breaker for CEO as well. That's the most that they've ever had in a single tournament. And so they had to do some crazy logistics to run that down too. And I hope you guys had a chance to watch that, because clearly, I forgot to change the topic over here. But the matches were great. This is a first year game, and we're not even through the first month. Right, not including a major influx of international players. Right, Gunda Jehudi Kai? No Pro Tour for Street Fighter 6 at CEO. No Pro Tour at all. At all. It was just everybody going there because they wanted to go, dude. It's crazy. But again, 1,000 players, and like I said, the game looked good. Obviously, we're starting to see the things that are clearly very strong, but again, it's really impressive. Do I think registration will decrease naturally? I mean, that happens in every situation. It'll cool down a little bit, but maybe not. Maybe not. I mean, there have been games where, year after year, it continues to break records. I think Tekken 7 was like that for a few years. When Tekken 7 was at the peak of the FGC, when Tekken 7 was ruling the roost, I think it kept breaking record numbers every year because more and more people are playing. Locals are bigger than majors back in the day. Dude, Mike Lee says, remember when 64-man tournaments were gigantic, huge multi-state events? That's what B3 was. B3 was 60-some people, 70-some people, I think, maybe. I say 60-some people, and I feel stupid. It couldn't have been that low. But honestly, back then, I think that's really what it was. I think it was 60-some odd people, and we were like, oh my God, we have 60 people here playing in a Street Fighter tournament. And yeah, it's sounds comically low now. That I'm even questioning myself if that was the right number of entrants at Battle by the Bay. But yeah, do we feel like we'll degrade over time? Maybe not necessarily. But we'll see how well Street Fighter 6 can maintain this, because it's off to a good start right now, and a lot of people were very. I saw a lot of positivity in the chat and on social media afterwards, that most people were like, oh my God, that match was so good. Oh my God, this was I haven't watched the match yet of Punk versus Justin. I only saw the ending, but everyone keeps saying that's one of the greatest matches ever. And it was a Cammy versus Cammy footsie's best match, footsie's fest, I should say. Where was the Battle by the Bay venue? The Battle by the Bay venue was in Sunnyvale Golfland. In Northern California. Sunnyvale Golfland. So it's just a tiny little arcade squashing all those people in there, dude. Oh, man. But, yeah, Street Fighter 6, knock on wood, cross fingers. I hope it can continue to deliver like this and sustain this momentum up until Mortal Kombat 1 and Tekken 8. And I hope those two games just add to it And then all three of these games just continue to help each other build into something bigger. So these numbers at Evo, lot bigger deal than I think we're giving it credit for. Like, we're talking about, like, wow, record broken, but I really feel like that there is something very significant here. Grand Blue versus Rising, for sure, you know, I mean, but that doesn't have the history and the precedent that Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, and Guilty Gear have, right? Obviously, Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising could eventually get to that point, but these other franchises have been pillars in the fighting game community forever. Well, no, we're talking about the sequel, Rising. Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, which is adding the rollback netcode and adding a bunch of new mechanics, etc., etc. So we're talking about the new Grand Blue that's coming out. That will officially get rollback netcode, etc., etc. So again, it could definitely become one of the games that will join this vaunted crew. But what I'm going to say is that it has a much better chance of joining this higher echelon because of Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat 1, and Tekken 8. Again, rising tide lifts all boats. I keep saying it. People don't believe me, but I think it's such an important thing. And yeah, hopefully they also make Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising also make sure that it has good input delay, that it runs well on PS5. Because that's the thing about Street Fighter 6 as well, is that, yeah, you can go, you know, all crazy with your PC hardware, but the PlayStation players are not getting screwed. Like, the input delay is actually pretty equal between PlayStation 5 on native PlayStation 5, I should say, as well as PC. So, yeah, Project L is going to be massive. Who knows when that game is coming out? That's just the thing, right? We don't know when that game is coming out. We have no idea when that game is ever going to come out at this point. So I won't talk about it until we know when there's a release date coming for that game. I mean, obviously it's coming and everything like that, but could still be 2024, could still be 2025, right? The nice thing is that for Riot, they're still making money with League of Legends, right? They have a policy to make sure that whenever they come out with a game, it meets a certain quality of standards. So they can work on the game as long as they want until it's like to their level of quality check. And so they kind of have that luxury. And I don't think people are ever going to lose hype for the game. I think it's going to be successful even if it comes out in the next year or 2 years, to be honest with you. So that's why I'm thinking it could take a while for it to come out, because they make sure that they release their games with good quality. So I'll wait until we get an announced date for that game. Let's just put it that way. In any case, that's Street Fighter 6. That's Evo. It is going to be a hell of a year, man. It is. Whoever wins this tournament at Evo will have won the largest fighting game tournament in the history of fighting games. And like, dude, that is something to hang your hat on, man. That is something to hang your hat on. I can't wait. I'm predictions on who might take it all, dude. Tree Fox, that's impossible. That's impossible to even fathom a guess. The only guess that I think most people can give right now is Mena RD, right? But Mena RD, we haven't even seen him play against any of the Japanese players. We don't know what the Japanese players are doing either. So it's really hard to say. Street Fighter 6, all we know is that it's broken the record. That's all we know. So I would guess right now at around 6,000, maybe 7,500. My personal guess on over-under was about 8,000. I think that it might be able to get to 8,000, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Japan might dominate again, but again, a lot of their advantages are not there anymore. A lot of the advantages that Japan used to have was having access to the game earlier than everybody else, right? And not only that, but they had the ability to play and practice against each other a lot easier than US did. With the netcode as good as it is, you know, we've seen what it's done for like the US Strive players, right? Clearly, you know, at one point in time, I said I felt like the U.S. were the strongest in Strive. I really, truly believe that. And, you know, it turned out, obviously, Japan was still stronger. But, like, if you know anything about the history of Guilty Gear and how far behind the U.S. has always been in every single Guilty Gear, like, the fact that U.S. is even as strong as it is amazing, right? Yeah, Big Bird has the potential to take the entire tournament. Honestly, his Marisa looks absolutely disgusting. His Marisa looks gross right now. So Big Bird has the potential to take the entire tournament right now. So it'd be actually really crazy to see a player from UAE take Evo this year. And yeah, he was a second place finisher before, so he definitely has the pedigree and the skills to do it. So Evo's going to be a good time. It's a month. It's a month away, dude. Literally a month away, right? A month and what, 4 days? It's insanity. A month and 6 days. It's insanity, dude. No, a month and a half. It's a month and a half away. It's right around the corner. So you really want a modern player to make top 8? Right now, who is my favorite or hopeful revelation player? Like, just, you know, someone coming from nowhere and doing really well. So Evo is August 4th. Okay, yeah, there you go. So, yeah, just a month and a week then. Revelation player? Boy, no idea at this point. No idea. So, Tree Fox, are you asking me if I have everything booked and ready to go? No. We haven't gotten notification yet on commentary, on commentary acceptance yet, unless I just got an email recently. But no, I don't see anything of that notification yet. So we still don't know. We as commentators, I don't think we have that information yet. So, but the nice thing about it is the reason why I haven't booked anything yet is because if you are selected as a commentator for Evo, they cover your flight and hotel. Evo covers your flight and hotel. So that is definitely the reason why I'm just kind of waiting right now. Anyways, I keep getting distracted. This topic has gone on for way longer than intended. So outside of the fact that there are explosions outside my house, but let's go ahead and call it for this topic. So again, for those of you on YouTube, thank you for watching and listening over here. I know this is just kind of like a live podcast here, so definitely a lot of rambling and stuff, but thank you for taking the time to come here and listen to this, and, you know, give me your over and under in the comments below. I want to see who, let's do a Price is Right thing. Let's do a Price is Right thing. Comment below your, without going over, your guess of what Evo's entrance numbers are going to be for Street Fighter 6. Do it in the YouTube comments, not here on Twitch, please. Do it in the YouTube comments. So, Nino Diablo, I can drive to Vegas. I will never, ever, ever drive to Vegas and back for Evo ever again in my entire life. The last time I did it, I almost fell asleep like 19 times on the way home. I'm just not doing it ever again. It was too risky. It was too scary. So, any case, thank you guys for tuning in. Please make sure you like and subscribe to youtube.com/UltraChenTV for all the cool stuff out there. Part 2 of the frame meter guide is up on YouTube. I know YouTube hasn't been putting my video onto the algorithm to suggest to people, so please check that video out. I put a lot of work into that video like I did for the first one, so please check that out and and see how the frame meter can help you guys learn how to do combos and stuff. Again, part 2 is out. Also, remember, I am putting out all the first attack videos as well. I skipped this week because I did the frame meter video. But first attack, if you look at my playlists for first attack 2023, all about learning fighting games for beginners and how to approach fighting games with the right mentality. And it is designed to be very philosophical and to help you learn how to grow as a fighting game player on your own. Basically, it's just teaching you the right mentality, teaching you the right mindset, etc., etc. So any case, thank you guys for watching and hanging out here. For those of you here on Twitch, don't worry, we're going to be jumping to the next topic right after this. But thank you guys on YouTube for watching, and I will see you guys next time. And the day that this podcast has graced your ears was the most important day of your life. But for me,
it was Tuesday.